Hello and good evening, race fans. Welcome to season 27, aka Assetto Corsa Thursday night, season 3 GT League here at the North American Grand Prix. Yes, we are starting 10 minutes earlier tonight, and the reason for that is because we are coming to you live from Watkins Glen in the Watkins Glen International Circuit in Watkins Glen, New York, upstate, beautiful rural area of the state of New York. And tonight is Super Pole qualifying. That's right, folks. Single lap Super Pole qualifying. What does that mean? Well, it essentially means that tonight we are going to cover the competition in terms of how it's going to pan out for the feature race next Thursday night that starts 1 hour earlier. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, so mark it on your calendars. Set yourself a reminder. I have a reminder set all the time that we have a 500-kilometer between 2.5 to 3 hour race coming up next Thursday night, and it starts 1 hour earlier, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So please remember that, folks. Tonight, what we have is we have the Super Pole qualifying. So what is Super Pole qualifying? It essentially means that each driver is going to be out on the track by themselves, setting a qualifying lap. At the end of that function, at the end of that session, the top two drivers have locked in their position no matter what, with the exception of penalties, for next week's feature race. That means that they cannot be bumped from starting first and second for next week's feature race. Immediately following this session, the Super Pole qualifying session, we're going to have what's known as a qualifying race, or as Jack Ivy and I affectionately call it, a dash for the cash. It's a barn burner. It means that everybody else, the rest of the field, is going all out, balls to the wall, trying to make sure that they can get the best starting position for next week's feature race. And it's a long one. You're talking about 92 laps around this place. So 92 laps is really going to take well, actually, it's going to take a little bit more than 3 hours, just over 3 hours. So, at the pace that these guys are going right now. So, I just wanted to give you guys that info, and we are at the track map right now. I am showing you the current layout that we are running. It is an 11-turn course. This is what's known as the international layout, and it's very fast. So, going into turn 1 is going to be very critical here tonight. There is a 10% cut rule. If you do cut on your qualifying lap, 10 seconds, a whole 10 seconds will be added to your time at the end of this event, and you will qualify and slot according to that 10-second penalty. So, in corner 1 is one area of contention for these guys, because a lot of guys like to cut it short, or they just keep their foot on the throttle and go wide. Going wide is considered a cut, and you will be penalized for this, okay? So this is something that these drivers tonight do have to keep in mind. Another feature of the qualifying race for tonight, after the Super Pole, is points. There are points that are awarded tonight for first, second, and third. 3, 2, and 1 points. So, to start the season off early, these guys are going to want to do the best that they can to grab some of those very few valuable points that at the end of the season, at the end of the 12th round of this season 3, could mean a driver championship and or a team championship. So there's a lot at stake here tonight. So we're going to go ahead and take you guys out to the track, and we are still in practice, and Super Pole's not expected to get started for about another, I want to say, 10 minutes or so. So these guys have been practicing here all night, and if you get a clear shot of my app in the upper left hand side, you'll see some of the times that these guys are putting down some ridiculously fast laps. Moises Caraballo, who has just left the server, put down a 142.8. 143s were standing for the longest time between Bryant, Furman, and Maris. Even Chris Moses, who got in on the 143s, 6. But you know what? It doesn't matter now. We're now into the 142s. What's it going to mean for the qualifying tonight? Well, folks, you know what? We don't know at this point. But we certainly hope that it's going to mean a lot of great racing for the coming season. And And if I'm not mistaken, let's see. Yes, he is on the server. We have Mr. Andres Preto with us, who has, I believe, at the last minute picked up a ride. I'm going to bring you that news story right now. But Andres is on the server, and he did pick up a ride with, I believe, yep, McLaren. He is driving the McLaren MP4 GT2 car for this season, and we are hoping that he can certainly make every single race. It is one of the requirements, so something to keep in mind, Andres and team. Guys, if you're out here and you like what you see, listen, there's still some car spots available for this coming season. Come and join the fun. Grab yourself a wheel, some pedals, get online. Let me tell you something. If you're looking at this and you're watching this broadcast and thinking to yourself, you know, hey, I'm okay with running offline races, it's not to be compared to the real thing. These cars may be virtual, but the competition, the adrenaline, and even the emotions that you go through are very, very real, folks. So something to consider. Come on out and join us on Thursday nights. We also have the Formula Abarths on Monday nights. If you guys got to see that broadcast, Al and Brad did a superlative job in broadcasting that race. I'm running on Monday night's full-time schedule this season for the inaugural Formula Abarth, and I've teamed up with a good friend, Lou Masciarelli, Team TFS, and we're doing all right. So, you know, guys, come on out. And a good mention here also is that we are still looking for a Thursday night co-broadcaster, a co-host, to work with me in the broadcast booth. Guys, if you feel that you are being called to contribute something back to the community, this is your opportunity. You get great exposure. People start to learn your name in the sim racing community. People will reach out to you and want to know different things about how it is that we do things in this league. This is the premier league in North America right now, so it's a great time to come in, donate some of your time, typically about 2 hours every Thursday night while we cover the races. Come on in to the broadcast booth if you've got a Assetto Corsa, and if you don't, you know what, then perhaps something can be worked out, but you got to be serious. This is for serious, you know, this is a call for people that may seriously consider coming into the broadcast booth with me. One thing I want to note tonight, I do not have the live stream up and running, and I do not have the chat room up and running. So please, if you're already watching this broadcast and you see other people start polling the broadcaster about questions and information, I just want you to know that because of bandwidth limitations and not wanting to take away from the quality of the broadcast, we do not have the chat up and running. So it looks like we are about to go live here in the next couple minutes with some Super Pole qualifying, as we have just hit the 9 p.m. mark. So let's talk about some of the teams that have joined up for Season 3. This season is, well, we have 11 confirmed teams, I believe. Yes, absolutely. 11 confirmed teams. And, to start at the top, gotta go by. Al Merriman and Moises Caraballo have teamed up. They're driving the Porsche this season. 05 Motorsport, David Poole, Andrew Werner. Now, tonight we have a substitute for Andrew Werner in the form of Alex White. Alex White is substituting for Andrew Werner as he is out this week. Roberts Dog Racing returns for Season 3. Jon Ludden and Bjorn Heyman. Amcam Racing also returns for Season 3. Ian Jolicoeur and John Wathen. All Black and Blue, Jack Ivey and John McIntyre have signed a deal with Nissan to drive that phenomenal GTR car this season for Season 3. And Precision Motor Racing comes back to Thursday nights. Chris Moses, Aaron Parsons. That's a story in and of itself. And other folks that we've got teamed up: Ronnie Nunez and Martin Walters, Rick Crawford, Alfonso Rodriguez, Alfonso Alvarez and Carlos de la Torre. They return as a team for Season 3. Christian Sanchez and Luis Fermin, and Andres Preto, I believe, might be running this season as an independent. Now, there are some other guys in the server. So you got Gregory Myers that's in the server, and let's see here. Let's see, I didn't mention Iggy Chiordia. Now, Iggy Chiordia might be running on a team. Iggy Chiordia is typically our Monday night driver, so he might be running as an independent here tonight. It's quite possible. We've got Thaniel Smith, Nathan Smith together. They are, boy, if I'm not mistaken, they are both driving that this funky car here, the Lamborghini. So, yep, they are in the server. So if they are teamed up, that would mean a confirmed 13 teams. And we are going to see, let's see, I believe that David Poole might be out on track already, or not just yet. Andres Prado out on track, trying to get the last bit of practice that he can possibly get in. And you know what? These guys are all dealing with different cars now, so this is a time for them to get acquainted with the car, see what the car can and cannot do. I did see that quite a few of the drivers, though, took it seriously this season, and they started getting some early practice on the server about a week and a half ago. So that's always a good sign. It means that once the car choices were made last Thursday, we did have the fun run, and if you were watching, then you know that during that fun run, Luis Fermin took the win. Then Alfonso Alvarez, David Poole, Jon Ludden, and Brad Maris. Those were the top 5 from the fun run last season. So you know, I started noticing that a lot of guys were taking and getting as much practice as they possibly could on the server. So I believe that this is going to be shaping up to be a phenomenal season. Absolutely. So we're going to go quiet here for a couple of seconds while these guys finish it now. It looks like the drivers' meeting is over. and that there might be a restart of the practice session, because we need, or I'm sorry, we're going to be moving over to the qualifying session. So, excuse me, folks. Once we move over to qualifying, we'll bring you all the action from the qualifying session. We have 27 drivers lined up for tonight. Wow, 27 drivers. Getting it wrong at the exit of the pit, the end of pit road. We see his teammate for the night, Alex White, sitting in the other SRT Orica Viper. And here we go, folks. So we're going to switch it over to the qualifying session. And I believe that the first one out is going to be David Poole. Or is it I'm sorry, Gregory Myers is the first one out. So Gregory Myers now is on his out lap. This is his out lap. So all of the times have been reset, and I believe that David Poole should have been the first one out. I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to have to find out, because it doesn't look like anybody has staged at the end of pit road yet. So Gregory Myers navigating the last couple corners, getting ready to bring it by the start-finish line, and he will start his timed lap. And Greg Myers is now on the clock officially on a Super Bowl qualifying lap. And we see that John McIntyre is taking to the track. So Greg Myers now on a flyer, and John McIntyre on his warm-up out lap. Greg Myers driving our new Renault GT vehicle. Slick and all black. I love it. And I gotta tell you that the administrators of the league have done a phenomenal job putting together this car pack. Greg Myers taking that apex way wide. It's gonna cost him some tenths of a second. Oh, a bit of a moment there for Greg Myers as he got it squirrely. Greg Myers in the next to last corner. This is the final corner to bring it across. Let's see what lap times Greg Myers is going to put up. He is going to put up an early lap of a 150. All right, let's catch up with Mr. McIntyre. So Greg Myers, his best right now, 150. That is approximately, I want to say, about 8 seconds off the top pace that we saw during practice. And, you know, it's no secret about Greg Myers. Greg Myers is not a qualifier per se, but once you get him in the race, he's hard to beat. He can pick his way through the field in any race and finish way up in the points. So, you know what, sometimes for some of the folks, it isn't even about the qualifying lap. So we are on board now with J-Mac, as we like to call him. Johnny Mac McIntyre teamed up with my old buddy Jack Ivy for Season 3. I expect to see good things out of these guys this season. They just got to get a handle on that GTR car, and once they've done that, I think they're good. We'll see them scoring in the points. So Johnny Mac gonna bring it across the start-finish line. Hey, the company I work for, Sprint. And Johnny Mac will put up a 1:45.398, and provisional pole belongs to Mr. McIntyre. Now, Ronnie Nunez, driving our older Corvette model, the C6R GT car. This young man that came to us last season is a force to be reckoned with, I tell you. This guy is fast, and he loves to race. Oh! Ronnie getting it all wrong at the end of turn 3. That's going to cost him a little bit of time to see if he can make up some time now during the infield in Sector 2. And this second sector is friends with no one. I got to tell you, it's friends with no one. You want to try and stay on the throttle as much as you can through the toe section and then into the boot. Guys, once again, if you are watching live, I do not have the chat room up and open. It just, you know, in an effort to save some bandwidth, the live streaming is not up and open at this time. As Ronnie Nunez finds the wall and his Super Pole qualifying effort is over. So we see Daniel Smith now out on track on the tail end of his warm-up lap. But I gotta think that these guys have got low fuel and soft tires loaded for this Super Pole event. I mean, you get one out lap, one timed lap, and you're done. So Daniel Smith now officially on the clock. Takes that first corner way wide. That's going to cost a lot of time. So we ride with Daniel Smith, driving one of our newest entries to the car pack, the new Lamborghini. Omar Gomez coming up next. So Daniel Smith now gonna negotiate these last couple corners here before bringing it across the start-finish line. And Daniel Smith crosses with a 156.8, good enough for provisionally good enough for third. So we are now on board with Omar Gomez. Omar Gomez driving the Ferrari 458. He is now on his flyer lap. And you know, I give a lot of kudos to this young man. Omar and team are out here week after week, giving it their best and their all. I did complete Brad's driving school lesson this just several weeks ago with Omar. So he was in my graduating class. I expect to see good things coming out of Omar, and most certainly I know that he picked up a couple of good pointers, and he's just got to learn to apply them here. And that's basically what he's doing. He's out here competing and having the time of his life, driving around in these GT3 cars that are fast as heck and giving it his all. So Omar now negotiates the last two corners of the Watkins Glen circuit. We'll see the time that he puts up. Current pole set by John McIntyre, 145.398. And Omar brings it across with a 149.616. Good enough for second right now. So Nathan Smith comes by the start-finish line to start his hot lap. So we had Daniel and Nathan. Put them both together, you got Nathaniel, which is a typical name, but I'm going to guess that these two are some sort of sibling. We do not have the skinny on them yet, folks, but believe me, by next week we'll know just who the Smiths are. Mr. and Mr. Smith. You're right on board. So Nathan Smith gonna bring it across the start finish line now, driving in that Lamborghini, looking mighty racy out there. And Nathan will post up a best of a 1:4.76. Good enough for second, provisionally. And we take it to the track with Iggy Chiordia as he now starts his hot lap, his Super Pole lap. And we're going to take it on board with Iggy. Oh, Iggy drifting it. What a save. He drifted through that corner. Go Iggy Chiordia. As he now negotiates the toe end of the boot. I'm sorry, that was the heel part. Now is the toe area, which is typically a second gear affair. Now we take it to the helmet cam now. Man, it would seem to me that Iggy would put up a good time were it not for that drift. Iggy Chiordia 1:4.74, so he's gonna move up into second place. We now go on board with Carlos de la Torre, who is now finishing up his hot lap. I'm sorry, he's just finishing up his warm-up lap and getting ready to start this as he negotiates this last turn. He will now start his Super Pole lap. Iggy driving the Audi 650, I'm sorry, the McLaren 650S. Another new car to our car pack here at the North American Grand Prix. Carlos de la Torre. Now on that all-important hot lap. This is where the drivers have to keep themselves focused. Yes, there is some pressure, given the fact that you have all the other drivers that are watching you, looking to see the times that you're going to put up. De la Torre with a 1:47.46, good, provisionally good enough for second place. And now we take it on board. We take you out with Andres Preto. So I saw Andres had put up like a 1:45 just before we moved up to the qualifying effort. Now, make no mistake, this guy is fast. This guy is fast on a bad day. Okay, so I don't know if perhaps he may have been, I don't know, putting up some sandbagging time, or was this a last minute, was this a true last minute effort to get in on the GT Thursday night racing action in the league? Then he's got some issues to sort out with the McLaren. He and his race engineer are going to have to get together and determine what works best for them and his driving style. So Andres Prieto now a 145, 145. That's nearly perfect, eh? Good enough provisionally for pole. And now we are out here with Jon Ludden. Jon Ludden, one half of AmCan Racing, is going to go out there and give it his best. Teamed up with Ian Jolicoeur. And I believe we have a substitute for Ian Jolicoeur as well tonight. Ian Jolicoeur is overseas somewhere, enjoying some family time with his, enjoying some vacation time with his family. I just don't quite remember who it was that was filling in for Jolicoeur. So, but we're gonna find out shortly. Ludden coming to negotiate the last two turns. There's turn 10 and through turn... Oh, he goes wide on turn 10. That's going to cost him some. And Ludden will come through with a 147.3. That'll move Ludden up into third provisionally. Now Alfonso Alvarez, teammate with Carlos de la Torre, is on. He now starts his flyer. Carlos de la Torre out on his Super Pole lap. Carlos de la Torre, last and final corner. I'm sorry, Alfonso Alvarez. Oh, I'm so sorry. 145, 377 is good enough currently for second. We're going to take it on with Bjorn Heyman. So, Bjorn Heyman, one half of Robert's Dog Racing, now on his hot lap, teamed up with none other than Mr. Jon Ludden, your last season Drivers' Champion. And so it goes. Into the carousel goes Bjorn. Now I'm noticing that these guys are taking that carousel much like the NASCAR cars do. Very wide. They do not hug that apex. I guess they prefer the outer line. And quite possibly because they can keep it keep their foot on the throttle for a much longer duration than if they were to hug that apex. And again, he takes a wide apex on that one. Let's go inside the car with Mr. Heyman. Bjorn negotiating the last corner here to come across the start-finish line. Oh, Bjorn gonna move up to the top of the leaderboard with a 144.2, so not a bad run for Bjorn. And let's get out to whoever's on track. Christian Sanchez now going to come by to start his hot lap. So Christian Sanchez and Luis Fermin have teamed up this season in that BMW M3 GT car. And I gotta tell you, Luis Fermin has figured something out with that car, because this guy is just ridiculously fast. Take it to the cockpit. As Christian Sanchez now comes up on the last three corners of this circuit. Sanchez going to cross the line with a 145 370, and that's going to move him up provisionally to third. So now let's see. Aaron Parsons takes to the track. Parsons, the wonder from down under, racing out of Australia. Got a little bit of a high ping rate to Aaron, and Typically, this kind of skews the video portion of his runs. As the motion of the car tends to look a little unnatural, but he is fast nonetheless. Also racing with Jon Houston, T-Broke Dam Bam. On Monday nights, the Formula Abarth. We had a nice duel for our first event at Spa just this past Monday. And T-Broke Dam Bam had me on my tippy toes for about half the race, man. So Aaron going to reset the pole time with a 1:43 flat. Good on you, Aaron. Very nice time indeed. We now go on with Alfonso Rodriguez, and boy, he just took that first corner way wide. That could count as a penalty against him. We're gonna have to see what the competition committee says. They have stressed it in the pre-race info that you cannot take that first corner wide. That will add 10 seconds to your lap time. So we go on board now with Mr. Nunez. Down into third for the boot area through turn 9 and then 10. And this turn coming up, turn 10, if you got your car set up right, it's pretty much a flat out affair. We see that he lifts off just a little bit and into turn 11, which will bring him across the start-finish line. With a 144.6, that's going to move him up into, provisionally into third for Alfonso Rodriguez. Okay, not bad. Not a bad run at all. Okay, so now we need to find out who's out on track. Somebody should be out on track. And it looks like it's Rick Crawford. Let's see. Nope, David Poole. David Poole on his flyer. And David Poole giving himself a well enough gap to just have nothing but clean track out there as he takes it into the carousel, turn 5. And he will now start to negotiate the chute, which is typically third, fourth gear, and not very easy to take. I tell you, the car just wants to drift way wide in that corner. Into turn 7. There you go. He's taking it nice and tight and out wide, so slow in, fast out. As David Poole does not even lift for that corner. Wow. David Poole's going to lay down a smoker. 143, 129 moves him up into the second spot. As Rick Crawford now comes to start his hot lap driving the 2015 Chevy Corvette C7R. We are live and you are watching Thursday night Super Pole qualifying here at the North American Grand Prix. Watkins, Glen, New York, the International Circuit layout. On board with Rick Crawford. So Rick Crawford and Alfonso Rodriguez teamed up this season to form a formidable team. And I gotta tell you that with the entries that we've got this season, I don't know how this was gonna shape up for the driver and team championships. Got a lot of top names here that are vying for those championships. And Rick is going to post up a 144.3, moves him up into 4th provisionally. As we take you on board with Jack Ivy. Jack Ivy was also in the graduating class of several weeks ago in Brad's driving school. And if you guys got to watch the race on Monday at Spa, Jack was giving them all sorts of agita in those Formula Abarths. I think he, oh, as he nearly loses it. Coming out of the boot. Was giving him all kinds of agita in the Formula Abarths at Spa last week. I think he finished 5th. I think I ended up 10th. So Jack Ivy trying to make up some of that time that he just lost as he got sideways. And he's going to come across the line. Puts up a 145.9. Not bad. It's going to move Jack up into 10th provisionally. Let's take a look and see who else is out on the track right now. So Jon Ludden starts his qualifying lap now as he goes up the hill through the S's and onto the back straight. Let's take it on board with Jon Ludden, see how he does through the carousel. Yeah, and you see now Jon Ludden holding nice, tight apexes here. Pretty soon we're going to be having sector split times for you guys. coming through turn 9, which is sometimes a pretty difficult turn to navigate. Ludden gonna post up. 143 flat. So he now bumps Parsons down to second and David Poole to third. Okay, we need to see who's going to be out on track next. So Alex White now takes to the field. We'll take it on board with Mr. White. Alex White filling in for Andrew Werner, 05 Motorsport. Alex White, the race winner of Monday night's Formula Abarth race at Spa. As Jack would say, this guy can drive a shopping cart just as fast around any circuit. Alex fast through that last corner. A 144, 347 is going to put him up in 6th. Not good enough for pole, but up in the top 10 nonetheless. And we now take you on board with the boss man, Al Merriman. Gotta go by. Teamed up with Moises Caraballo, who laid down the smoker in practice, boy, I gotta tell you. So Al negotiates that last turn now. Hardly letting off the throttle. It's going to come across with a 144 flat. It's going to move Al up into 4th position provisionally. That was a great qualifying effort by Mr. Merriman. So Chris is now going to come across the line and will start his flying lap. Chris Moses and Aaron Parsons, Precision Motor Racing for this season. take you on board with Mr. Moses. Chris Moses finished second in Monday night's Formula Abarth race at Spa after having initially run into some adversity out on track. Getting it sideways through one of the fastest areas of the track. But he got right back on it, and I gotta tell you, he gave it his best effort, finished second. Is negotiating this last turn. And we'll post up a 1:44.749. So that moves Moses up into 9th. Now Brad Maris, another very talented driver, to say the least, man. Brad was smoking it out there during practice. Gonna try and do his best here tonight. One lap to get it right, Brad. If anybody can get it right, this man can. Brad Maris, your Monday night color commentator, along with Al Merriman. They cover the Monday night Formula Abarth races. Oh, and Brad taking it wide. Looks like he might have missed his braking point. I know he didn't mean to do that. Also, our resident driving instructor, Brad Maris. Teamed up with Jeremy Bryant, they took the team championship in Season 2 of Assetto Corsa GT League. Takes it all the way out to the fence, and he's going to come across with a 144.1, so that's going to move Maris up into 5th. Provisionally, tentatively, until everybody has actually gone. We see Jeremy Bryant is staged, waiting for Luis Fermin to go by. So we take you on board with Luis Fermin, BMW M3 Power. Fermin took the win last week at the fun race in Montreal. Came from behind. Getting a little squirrely. This guy is fast. Comes across with a 143.6, so it's not good enough for pole, but a good run nonetheless, man. Absolutely. So we try to catch up with Jeremy Bryant now. Let's see here. Jeremy Bryant gonna finish up his I believe his out lap. Or no, he is on his hot lap. Sorry, folks. Jeremy Bryant on his hot lap. So we'll take you onto the hood cam as we ride along with Jeremy Bryant, one half of Suspect Speed Racing, last season's team championship winners. Last corner for Jeremy Bryant. Jeremy Bryant gonna post up a good time. Let's see what he comes by with. It is a 143.5. It's gonna move Jeremy Bryant up into 4th. On board with Moises Caraballo. Moises Caraballo is the other half of Gotta Go By team with Al the Boss Merriman. Nice, as he nicely comes through that corner. That was amazing. And I'm not sure if there's anyone else left to go after Moises. Showing David Poole on here twice, so one of those David Pools is not the real David Poole. So Moises Caraballo is going to be your last qualifier of the evening. This session is going to quickly be followed by a 30-minute dash for the cash race. And it'll be a 15-lap affair. On board with Moises. Oh, as Moises finds the outside wall coming around that last corner. 143.7. It's going to let him get up into 6th, but it looks like Jon Ludden, the man of the night, with a 143 flat, is going to take the pole here tonight. And I believe that that is everybody, folks. That is everybody. Everybody is now in the pits. We've got 26 drivers out on in the pits right now. So Jon Ludden, Aaron Parsons lock in their positions for next week, barring any penalties or any cuts. Once the cut review is performed and complete, they will be starting 1st and 2nd for next week's feature race. Now, what's going to happen here is that we are going to be moving over into the race session. What happens here dumps me into the pits. But I love it. As we get ready to start the feature race, 15 laps, dash for the cash. We got about 4.5 minutes before the green lights come on. So we're just going to wait here, and we're going to have you wait with us, folks. So we've got 2 minutes left to go before the green lights come on. Again, P1 and P2. Jon Ludden and Aaron Parsons have locked in their positions, barring any penalties for cut track or anything else. Once the reviews are done, they're locked in. And this race here for 15 laps is going to determine what the starting order for the remainder of the field, positions 3 till the end, are for next week. That's what these guys are going to be racing for 15 laps for, to try and put in their best race effort to get a good start, hopefully towards the front of the pack for next week's feature race, 500 kilometers, a little over 3 hours, right here at the Glen. So, 1:15, 1 minute 15 seconds left to go before the lights come on. And once we get started, folks, it's going to be a mad dash for the cash. And we are expecting a barn burner here for about 30 minutes or so, a little over 30 minutes, and I am going to try and bring you the action as best as I can. I'm one guy who is your commentator, co-commentator, and the cameraman, all in one. So we're down to 45 seconds, and the sim will dump me in the pits, and we'll take it right back out to the live action. 30 seconds to go. 83-kilometer qualifying race tonight. And we're going to start hearing those engines revving. Final countdown. 10 seconds left. Lights are on. And they are off. And somehow I got pushed to the back of the pack, so let's go up front. Oh, as it looks like Aaron Parsons is already checking out. So Jon Ludden out front. Looks like he is being followed by none other than Mr. David Poole. Luis Fermin, Aaron Parsons, Jeremy Bryant. Now Moises Caraballo puts the moves on Al Merriman. Brad Maris back here in 8th right now. Oh, as we see one of the cars getting squirrely and taking it off track. Bjorn Heyman loses it. Going into the chute. Out front, it's still Jon Ludden, David Poole, Luis Fermin. Boy, oh boy, David Poole not wanting to give much racing room to Luis Fermin. Unfortunately has no, as they go side by side through the S's. Oh, this could end very bad for somebody. We've got a gaggle of cars vying for position, and David Poole is going to take it back. Oh my, oh my. Take it on board with Aaron Parsons, who's currently running in 4th right now. So Jon Ludden establishing a pretty comfortable lead. David Poole in 2nd, Luis Fermin in 3rd. Getting all kinds of pressure from Aaron Parsons, who's getting all kinds of pressure from Moises Caraballo. Jeremy Bryant not too far behind. Al Merriman still in 7th, followed by Brad Maris in 8th. Now, these guys right now are vying for that 6th position. A little further back, let's see, a little further back. Alfonso Rodriguez, Chris Moses, Ronnie Nunez, Andres Prado, Rick Crawford, Alex White. Followed by John McIntyre. Oh, here we have the 2 Ferraris coming down into the first turn. Looking at Omar Gomez giving chase to Iggy Chiordia. Christian Sanchez back here in P16. Johnny Mac running in 15th. And his partner, Jack Ivey, is way back here, having his own little battle with Gregory Myers. Jack Ivey with the advantage of the inside line right now. Jack Ivey going to keep that position over Greg Myers for the moment. So Gregory Myers filling in for Ian Jolicoeur. Nathan Smith in 23rd. Alfonso Alvarez in 24th. And Carlos de la Torre in 25th. Daniel Smith in 26th. So out front, it's still Jon Ludden, followed by David Poole. Oh, Christian Sanchez. Hold on 1 second. Nope. Moises Caraballo. And Aaron Parsons in 4th. Jeremy Bryant now in 5th. Al Merriman getting by some other cars for the 6th spot now. So Al is running in 6th. And the hunt is on for Jeremy Bryant. On the hood cam with Al Merriman. And we see the battle up ahead that's raging between Aaron Parsons and Moises Caraballo. And it looks like we're going to have a challenge for the lead going on. So that gap between Jon Ludden and David Poole down to less than a second as David Poole now starting to turn up the heat using the muscle of that Dodge Viper SRT V10 power. So looks like Moises Caraballo now coming under some serious pressure from Aaron Parsons. We take you to that battle now. Parsons currently running in 4th, putting a lot of pressure on Moises Caraballo, the boss man's teammate. Jeremy Bryant a little further back, followed by Brad Maris, Alfonso Rodriguez. Now Merriman now back to 8th. We didn't get to see what happened or why he's lost so many positions. Chris Moses chasing down Al. And Luis Fermin all the way back here in 10th now. Got 5 laps down, 10 to go. And Luis Fermin is all over Chris Moses' tail, trying to find a way around Chris Moses. As they come into the carousel side by side. Oh, this is dangerous. Woo! Give each other some room, guys. Give each other some room. Oh, and it looks like Ronnie Nunez now wants a piece of this. Gets side by side with Luis Fermin. as Ronnie Nunez, looking for some racing room, gets onto the grass just a little bit. As these three battle right now for what I'm gonna say is 9th position, P9. And now Alex White, whom we've rarely mentioned tonight, Alex White running in 12th, is gonna throw his hat into this fight as well. So Aaron Parsons up in fourth, still giving Moises Caraballo a lot of problems. And now Jon Ludden going red. Let's take it up front and see what Mr. Poole is doing up there. And it certainly looks like David Poole looking to take the lead away from Jon Ludden. Poole gonna look down the inside. Does he have enough? Does not get it done. And we figured out exactly what's going on here with sometimes when you see these guys take to the air or looks like they're not stopping in time. It's actually a problem with Assetto Corsa. When the server loses track of a driver's position and you're on that driver, it just keeps them driving. So that's essentially what you're looking at. So with about 12 minutes and 20 seconds left of racing here tonight, it looks like Aaron Parsons still wanting that third position back from Moises Caraballo, and Moises is just saying, nah, you gotta come and get it. So it looks like some changing of the guard going on here. Al Merriman down in 9th, and Rick Crawford in I don't know. Rick Crawford is actually running 26, so he's one lap down already. Looks like Ronnie Nunez is going to be the winner of this battle that was going on. We were looking at this before. Ronnie Nunez, Chris Moses, Luis Fermin, and Alex White bringing up the rear of this battle. Alex White races out of Scotland. Yes, overseas. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning his time right now. Or 2 o'clock in the morning his time. Whatever. It's like early in the morning over there. This guy's a night owl. We see John McIntyre making his way through the field up to 13th now, followed by Christian Sanchez. Andres Preto back in 15th, so Andre still has some work to do with that McLaren for the remainder of this season. Gonna have to figure out setups and stuff. He'll be getting with his race engineer this week, no doubt, for a lot of testing before the feature race next week. Bjorn Heyman is running in 16th, Jack Ivey in 17th. Iggy Chiordia. Oh, and it looks like we have someone in the pits. Nathaniel Smith has called it a day, it looks like. Surprised his name is not showing up as being in the pits. Greg Myers back in 22nd. Nathan Smith in 23rd. Carlos de la Torre running in 24th. So we've got 8 laps down and 7 to go. And this time by for these drivers is going to be 7 to go. As we reach the halfway mark, we've reached the halfway mark already. So it looks like David Poole might be content with having his start position in 3rd because he doesn't seem to be putting the moves on Jon Ludden. However, there are some valuable finishing points here tonight. 3 points for 1st, 2 points for 2nd, and 1 point for 3rd gives these guys a head start on the points race for this season. Aaron Parsons still holding on to 4th. It looks like he's going to try putting the moves. Oh, Moises getting it sideways. Oh, Aaron having to take evasive action. Oh, that was also close for Aaron Parsons. I don't know how he escaped that one. That was just some crafty racing and crafty driving, to say the least. Moises now going to get pushed back into 7th. And he will be followed by his gotta go by teammate Al Merriman. Chris Moses still running in 10th, followed by Luis Fermin, Alex White. And now Johnny Mack has worked his way up to this gaggle of cars. Johnny McIntyre must have figured out something on that Nissan GTR because he's doing pretty well. Up there running in 13th, so... looks like Chris Moses is going to continue to lead this contingent of vehicles into the carousel turn. It looks like Ronnie Nunez is back on the move again as he is splitting Moises Caraballo and Al Merriman at the moment. Looking at Alfonso Rodriguez, Alfonso's currently running in 7th. And he's got it all over Brad Maris right now, giving him all kinds of pressure. It's Jeremy Bryant trying to gap himself from that battle going on back there. Hunting down Aaron Parsons. Aaron Parsons up to 3rd. Now Aaron Parsons was chasing... can't quite remember who it was, but it looks like Aaron Parsons now going to get that that podium finish spot back. As we see David Poole, they've completed 11 laps and have now started on their 12th lap. They're going into the carousel, both Jon Ludden and David Poole. So not exactly sure what David Poole's strategy is here. Is he going to go for the early points? So all he's got to do is finish 2nd, and he will be starting in 3rd in next week's feature race. Of course, barring any penalties. But you know, is he going to make a last-ditch effort here in these last 3 laps to try and, these last 3.5 laps that are left, to try and put the moves on Jon Ludden for that extra point? Well, we're going to have to see how that works out. As your leaders now go through turn 10 and now turn 11 to start this whole thing over again. It looks like we have one of the cars one of the Renaults coming into the pits. So this is the race for the lead. As Poole holds on to second. Aaron Parsons comfortably in third now. Jeremy Bryan, Brad Maris, Alfonso Rodriguez, and then Ronnie Nunez. Ronnie Nunez has made it up to 7th, followed by Al Merriman and then Moises Caraballo. Chris Moses still. So now Alex White gets by Luis Fermin and Christian Sanchez. So now Alex White putting some pressure on Chris Moses for that 10th position. Oh, as Alex takes it wide into the grass. Alex perhaps looking to finish within the top 10 as he's going to try and take a run on Moses here. And he decides better of it. Backs out of it. Watching live coverage of the North American Grand Prix Thursday night GT League on the Assetto Corsa platform. NAGP has completely migrated over to Assetto Corsa, and once again the admins of this league have created some magic here for us and have taken Assetto Corsa and made it very suitable for the purposes of our league for organized league racing. All we need now is for Kunos to go ahead and implement a weather system into this sim so we can bring you rain, some of the wet stuff as in real life. So now I believe that Alex White is running with 40 kilos of fuel, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at this. So now Alex White is running, I think it was in 11th, and no, he's not running any, but Luis Fermin and Christian Sanchez, they both in the BMW M3 have 40 kilos of weight ballast, and that was because of a car change. So that's the reason why they got that added on. So on board with your race leader again, being hounded by David Poole. As they have now completed 14 laps and are now on the final lap of this race. race leaders here. Coming up on Nathan Smith. Nathan Smith going wide to let the leaders through. Good on you, Nathan. I don't know. Let's see what David Poole might have here for Jon Ludden. Jon Ludden gets a little squirrely. He's got Carlos de la Torre directly ahead of him. Whoa, David Poole getting really close, but sideways, and it looks like it's going to finish this way. And David Poole coming around the last corner. Sorry, Jon Ludden will take the race win. So Ludden crosses the line with a 1:45, and David Poole also. So that's it for these guys now. Aaron Parsons will come across in third. And fourth is going to go to Brad Maris. Ronnie Nunez in fifth. Jeremy Bryant. Alfonso Rodriguez. Moises Caraballo. Al Merriman and Chris Moses are going to come across the line now, as these guys now start heading back into the pits. Andres Preto will finish in 15th. Bjorn Heyman will take away 16th. Jack Ivey in 17th, followed by Iggy Chiordia, Alfonso Alvarez, John Wathen, Omar Gomez, Carlos de la Torre, Nathan Smith, Rick Crawford, and Gregory Myers will bring it around in 25th. That is going to be your race. So that's about it, guys. So that's the way it's going to line up for next week's feature race. 500 kilometers, 92 laps around this daunting circuit that is known as Watkins Glen. So as you see it up there, Jon Ludden will be starting in first, Aaron Parsons second, David Poole third, Brad Maris fourth, Ronnie Nunez in fifth, Jeremy Bryant in sixth, Alfonso Rodriguez in seventh, Moises Caraballo in eighth, and down and down and on down the line. So that's gonna pretty much be it here for us for the Thursday night Assetto Corsa and North American Grand Prix Leagues. My name is Ken Rodriguez. We are glad that you were able to join us, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Do not forget, next week's feature race does begin at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So we hope that you can join us next week. And until then, have a great weekend and a great start to next week. All right, goodbye.